Hello, everyone, and welcome to Red United TV. It's your boy, Ivor and Spice, and welcome to the Catch Up Volume 55. Guys, do apologize. Sometimes you forget where you are in your numbers and volumes of your episodes. But yes, welcome, guys, as always. This is, of course, the Manchester United show where we talk about the latest hot debate and, of course, reflecting on the previous match, which was against, of course, Leeds, and also looking at the match preview, which will be Southampton on the weekend. And, of course, the weekend wrap-up of the Premier League and my favorite part of the show, which is Game of the Week and Question Time. And as always, we always have guests. And today we have the lovely Alice Talks Football. Good afternoon, or should I say good evening, Alice. How are you doing?
Evening.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back on. Great to be here. How are you doing, most importantly?
Most importantly, I'm doing fine. Manchester United have put a smile on my face. I'm very sure everyone here that's on this channel has had a wonderful weekend, especially with Manchester United winning.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you, Alice, how was the weekend for you in general?
Arsenal lose, get to banter them. United win, we thrash Leeds. Pogba gets 4 assists and shuts down his haters. Mason Greenwood scores, shuts down his haters. Bruno pisses off all the Bruno haters. I mean, let's see who else loses. Man City lose. Sancho debut and Varane announced. I think that just sums up my weekend.
Yes. That sounds like a lovely weekend as well. Let me bring in Monzi. Monzi, how are you doing, my bro? Like, it's been a while since last week. How's the weekend been?
Oh, I didn't get called beautiful Munzie, did I? Yeah. It was good, yeah. I missed the second half, but yeah, first half, yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? Of course, City losing, Arsenal losing. That was always good, Arsenal losing. But it was really good.
Yes, and then last but not least, of course, I will introduce him slowly until when he's ready. If you can give me the thumbs up that you're ready, then I'll just bring you straight in, Amok. Yeah, ready. Big up to my brother Amok, of course, one of my co-hosts as well. He's here up in the building. Amok, how was your weekend as well, and how have you been in general?
Yeah, I've been good, My weekend was great. Wonderful win, of course. And how are you guys? Monze? Is that
Right.
Alice, right? Alice, you're right?
Alice. Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good,
And of course, guys, these guys are good. Let's get straight into it, of course. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, smash that like button. Also remember to share, because why? Sharing Ivor and Spice has always been caring, guys. Big ups to you guys that's watching and tuned in. Let's go straight into it. Manchester United 5, Leeds United 1. Manchester United winning the Rose Derby. The first game of the Premier League, starting off with a bang. 3 points and 4 goals of goal difference compared to the other guys. Brilliant display by Manchester United. Brilliant performance by the guys as well. Beautiful to see Bruno score his first hat-trick at Old Trafford, and also making a record number of assists, which no one has done for a very long time. Pogba laying down 4 assists. It was absolutely brilliant to see all of that. Bruno, Pogba, the whole crowd being back as well, a full house at Old Trafford. It must have been a special moment for everyone. I'm going to bring straight to you, Alice. I just want to get the feel of the game first before we go deep down into the performance once we get everyone's take on the game. Just briefly, what did you think of the game?
I think it was a really, really good game. There was still, I think, aspects of last season in that game. We did beat Leeds a lot last season at home. There was the whole, that goal we conceded, we were very open in the midfield. I think the first half, it was a little bit slower, but I think we were the best team in the first half. It was a lot of second half Man United, but at the end of the day, you can't critique the performance. It was a brilliant performance. To think that we won 5-1 versus Leeds without Cavani, without Rashford, basically Sancho wasn't involved really, Varane wasn't involved, Martial was barely involved, and we had Fred in the pivot with Daniel James playing, and we still thrashed Leeds. I think you can't really, complain. I think everything was right, but I think there was 2 guys that really stole the show, and that was Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. Very hard to choose man of the match. I just say Paul Pogba because he created 4 goals. Like, that really rarely happens. But just fantastic performance. I think also what I wanted to pick out was, what I noticed was we moved the ball a lot quicker. I think it wasn't so slow, and we were really upping the tempo, and we're passing quickly and we're passing forward. And I think that made a massive difference. And we just looked ready for it. I think it was a brilliant game.
No, I have to agree with you, especially moving the ball quicker. You can see that Ollie has taken these guys to another level in terms of the philosophy that he wants them to be playing, the football, the type of football he wants the team to be playing. Monzi, of course, we're going to move it up to you. What did you think of that game yesterday as well?
Well, if you'd have said to me at the start of the game we was going to win 5-1 with that team, I'd have been like, yeah, what have you been on? Because when I see McFred, I even tweeted it. What is McFred? Oh, McFred, not again. But they were just like completely different. It was like, yeah, it was high up the field. The defence was high up the field. Even Lindelof played well. Do you know what I mean? So that's how good we was. But McFred were just, I don't know what he said to him, but they were just completely different. They were just what we want. I know everyone's saying, yeah, we need a CDM, but God, they were so good. Even Fred scored at the end. I couldn't believe it. But you know what I mean? They were just on it. I know Leeds like to attack us, but first half, I think he just had one save, but he could have had his eyes shut for it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they were just all over in first half. And then when they scored, I thought, oh no, here we go. But it was just like McFred. I know like Pogba and Bruno get the accolades and all that, but McFred were completely different. And James was non-existent. No change there, and it just proves that Pogba needs to be further up the field. Pogba can't be playing in that middle. He's so much better on the left. While Rashford's out, I'd play him there, and I think we've just got to chuck all the money at Pogba to keep him, because the way it's going, if we don't chuck the money at him, he's going to be gone, and that's going to be a shame if he does go. Sorry, I lost my voice there. Yeah, it's going to be a shame if he does go.
Absolutely, it would be a shame if Pogba does go. It looks like he might have the season that we all been waiting for. And yes, of course, Amok, as you as well. I know you watched that match. I know you was happy, you was ecstatic. What did you think of that match against Leeds?
It was a good match. Like Alice and Monty just mentioned, like it was beautiful to see the way we played. Not just play like all this football, but passing the ball fast, and the intensity was really, really like it felt like Leeds. We know Leeds attack a lot, but didn't really attack us that much, and that's the whole team. Like it was a good match. And let me just say one thing. Remember last week when you asked us, do you want us to look out for this season? And I did mention Pogba just because what it's been going through and the whole shabam, the new deal, whatever. But just to see him perform the way he performed, because I think he's still for me the best player to play for France this Euros, and he just continued from where he stopped. And even the pre-season, I've seen videos of him. I've seen what he's been doing in training. Like my eyes are on Pogba this season. I want to see more. I want to see him win the player of the season for us this season. Not Bruno, not Shaw, not De Gea. I want Pogba because he's been at the club for a very long time. He needs to prove himself. And seeing what happened on Saturday, beautiful.
Absolutely. The one thing I did highlight, I know all of you Manchester United fans, when you saw this team line up and you saw McFred, you was like, oh my God, McFred again. And then, of course, I did tell people, don't be surprised if you see Daniel James play, because Sancho won't be ready.
True, you did say.
Don't be surprised that if you see Dan James. But I have to say, Dan James was absolutely useless. Like, he was the weakling. He was the passenger in that whole 11. He was the passenger in the whole.
He played for 73 minutes. He needed nothing.
Each time he wasted the opportunity, he wasted balls, he gave away balls, he got tackled, he got hacked.
It's the lack of intelligence for me. There was a time where he went to shoot, and I just thought if he'd taken a touch, Greenwood would have been on the edge of the box where he could have just passed it to Greenwood. And if Greenwood got a shot off, it's more likely to go in than Dan James shooting from this dodgy angle.
True.
Big up Jerome. Big up my brother Jerome, just joined in with us. I'm going to get your take on what you thought of the match briefly before we get into the other players such as Pogba, Bruno, and etc. What did you think of the match?
Yeah, I thought the match was great. To be honest, I was a bit nervous when Leeds equalised because that was a great goal. And you know that when opposition teams equalise, it kind of gets you a bit anxious, thinking, are we going to push on to try and win, or are we going to sort of get nervous and have like all these little mistakes creeping in that game? But it was reassuring that we took the lead again, like within like 3-4 minutes. So that sort of calmed nerves down. And then all of a sudden the team just started playing with a lot of confidence. And obviously, Pogba and Bruno is the Pogba Bruno show, obviously. But when Pogba came off, the game kind of just petered out a little bit. So I hope that is not a sign to say if Pogba's not in the team, then we're going to struggle. But it's the first game. It's always good to just get a winning result in the first game, just to, you know, get off to a good start, and then hopefully we can build on that for the next game now.
Yes, guys, if you're in the cut, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share as well. Get as many people watching as you can. Let's talk straight into players. We got Paul Pogba, who had a brilliant game, 4 assists, Bruno Fernandes scoring a hat-trick. I'm going to go straight to you guys. This is open floor, man. What did you guys think of that, man? Was it essential? Was it what Pogba needed to get a break, especially Bruno himself? Because we expected this from Bruno. Bruno will always be Bruno, get the goal in. What did you guys think of their performance? Anyone?
Might as well start. I mean, I thought the performance from Bruno and Paul Pogba were both 10 out of 10s. I think they have to play together. I think to get the best out of us. I think with Pogba being further forward, he gets more involved with Bruno, because we don't have an out-and-out CDM, Pogba, when he plays in the pivot, he has to play with Fred or McTominay, and he doesn't really get the opportunity to, you know, be as advanced and stuff and make things happen up the pitch. But I think we saw it in the Euros a couple of times for France. I thought Pogba was outstanding in the Euros. And we saw it again versus Leeds. That the passes he made, that pass agreement for the second goal was incredible. To have that kind of vision and to think to do that pass and to know that they're going to make that run is unbelievable. Because, you know, the pass for the first goal and the pass for the second goal were just, you know, to time that pass, to place that pass, to know they're going to make that run, I think is what separates us from a lot of teams. You know, you can be a good team and you can be a mid-table team, but you if you have that quality like Pogba and Bruno, you can. That's what really separated us from Leeds. And I just thought the performance was brilliant, especially from Pogba, Bruno. Like Greenwood really impressed me. I think as a number 9, it was a really, really mature performance. As you guys said earlier, I think Dan James was the only one that I was a bit like, ooh, but you can swap him out for Sancho. And I hope Ollie does that. I hope Ollie doesn't start Dan James versus Southampton. But I was so impressed with the performance. The passing was quick, but I just think the intelligence from Paul Pogba, and I just wanted to just do this week in, week out as well. But I do think with Bruno, he dropped off because he was tired, and I think we could all see that. And I think with Paul Pogba, when he plays poor, a lot of it is because he's been lumbered with McTominay, and he has to do this defensive job as well. I think Pogba, when he's given the freedom, is fantastic as well.
I think Pogba, he just looks more happier, and like you can see it in his face. He's just happy. The whole team seemed happy. But as I can't remember who said it. Someone said today on another podcast, they're saying about Pogba's better up top because he does that certain stuff, and if he loses the ball at the back, that's what you know. That's what killed us. Do you know what I mean? He'd lose it, and then they'd go and score. But he's much better going forward. He's happy. Just needs a new contract now. I don't think we end up giving him it. I don't think we'll give him it. I just got a feeling they're just going to let him go for a free again. I just see it. But if it happens, it happens. But it's just more apart from Daniel James, there's more people trying to get a place now. Do you know what I mean? Even Van der Beek, I know it's only a friendly, but even Van der Beek looks different. You know what I mean? He could come in there. James is only a player that you want if you're tiring defence, even though he doesn't do anything in the final third. But you'd love someone to, you know, he'd love him running at someone if they're knackered. Do you know what I mean? He just needs to do his final ball. If he can do a final ball, sometimes he does. Sometimes he's like as a Perlo, and you're thinking, whoa, and then next minute you're like, whoa, what a load of crap. Do you know what I mean? But he can do it. He just don't want to do it, and he just didn't see. He seemed non-existent. But I think if Martial was fit, he'd have played. I still think Greenwood should be playing in that middle. He did play really well in that middle. Fred and McTominay just shot me how far they're off. Even Fred to get so far forward to score that goal. That's how good they were. And hopefully they'll play more like that now. We've got Varane because they won't have to sit back as much. That's why I think we've got Varane in there, so they don't have to sit back as much. Whether they do or not, I don't know. We'll soon see against Southampton. But yeah, it's looking good at the moment. Only after one game, but it's looking good.
That is true. And I loved Pogba's performance. It was sensational. It was magnificent. Everything. The assists, especially that the pass towards Greenwood, as Alice said, to have that vision, because Pogba's known for making passes like he does that a lot for Marcus Rashford. Rashford scored a goal like that similar against Tottenham. When Pogba made that long-range pass, curling it onto him to run in onto the ball. So that is in Pogba's locker. It's a shame that we don't always see it, consistently. But I'm hoping this season. And Muzzy did say he looks happier now. The question is he happier because he's got 12 months left until his contract expires and he can piss off Manchester and probably go to PSG or return back to France? It could be that. But it could just be that, wow, Sancho, Varane, Van der Beek looking Henshaw. You know what, Bruno? I'm happy. I can probably sign a new contract. Is it that? I want to throw that to you, Jerome, because I want to know what you thought of Pogba's performance and also Bruno Fernandes' performance.
I thought Pogba's performance was sensational. I think that's probably the best I've seen him play in the United shirt, to be honest. I think from now on, we just need to give Pogba that free role to just sort of roam around. I think when he plays off the cuff, I think that's when you see the best of him. But when you restrict him in a defensive role, it's almost like you're stifling all his capabilities of what he can do on the pitch, just to compensate for the ineffectiveness of other members of the team. So I think from now on, we just need to put him in that advanced role and let the other guys that do the defending do their defending, and that should hopefully give us a greater balance going forward. But to see those 4 assists in one game, it's not often that you see that. And I think that's the record for a Man United player in the Premier League to do 4 assists. But like you said before, that pass to Greenwood for that second goal, that was almost perfection. The way it just sort of just smoothly just went across the grass and right into his path. Like, you need proper finesse to do those sort of passes across the ground. So it was just good, and you could see that he's enjoying himself on the pitch as well, like you said. So I think that's just a sign that you just need to play him where he's happy playing. That none of this putting him on the right-hand side, putting him in the double pivot, just moving him left, right, and centre. Just give him a consistent place in the team where he works best, and hopefully we'll get a more consistent Paul Pogba, because that's one of the criticisms that we get from him. Like, one week he's playing good, then the next week it's a bit average, and then the fans start criticising him and stuff like that. So let's just play him where he plays best. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come, really, in terms of where we're playing him, and hopefully we can do that on a more consistent basis.
How about you?
Yeah, I think it was just good to see him play the way he played. He actually tallied his equal his tally last season, because I think he got 4 assists as well in one game. So it was just good. Everything he did, I'm not surprised, because I watched him play during the Euros. I saw them same passes. France got a couple of goals from Pogba, making them wonderful passes, like you mentioned. I was just about to say before you said the Rashford goal. Not just one. We've seen Rashford score a couple of goals, a few goals from Pogba like that. My thing is, I know we got a very good player, right? What is the club doing about this particular player? Because in my opinion, Pogba is someone that you don't want to lose. And I did say he's a very vital and key player to United squad. Like, everyone's saying he's happy. Of course he's gonna be happy. I got Sancho. Sancho just lit up the dressing room. He's young. He's got that fun for mentality. Like, him grin with them lot. That's beautiful. And one thing that you should notice, this is the same Pogba we saw when he signed that deal for Manchester United under Mourinho. He was playful. His teeth were always out. And when he does that, come on, we know we can get the best out of him. I'm just worried that about Manchester United as a club. What are we going to do about this player? Not his quality or what he can do in the pitch. We all know what Pogba is capable of. And we just hope that he can do this week in, week out. Like, consistency is something that we need from Pogba and Martial this week and this season.
I absolutely agree. Bruno as well, that was exceptional for his hat-trick. Another player that did really well, that is still, forever green from yesterday. I mean, from last season, was Luke Shaw.
I know.
How good was Luke Shaw yesterday, guys?
Too good.
Too good. And another guy. What did you guys think of McTominay and Fred? Because Fred got a goal. McTominay was getting forward.
The movement was not really too much, because, like I said, Leeds did not make us defend hard, or Leeds did not really give us too much pressure. For me, as much as we won 5-1, that's just the first game. We might get a different approach for other teams, and that might see us playing in different type of way. And I just hope the players are all ready. Like Oli, one thing Oli got improve himself with this season is that team management. Make sure your players are playing the way you want them to play. Make sure they know how to capitalize on the opposition. Make sure you know this player to change the philosophy, mentality when they know they're under pressure against opposition. Because most of the time, like what Jerome said, when we concede a goal, we lost it. We always not playing back to our foot. Like, it's just beautiful to see them play like that. But I hope the players can keep this going, because it was just Leeds. And like, let me mention this again. Leeds did not make us play did not pressure us too much. It was an easy walk in the park for United. It was easy walk in the park. Leeds did not make it hard for us. They made it easy for us, and we took opportunity. So I hope next game, like wherever comes, I hope the players are ready for this. But good feeling about the team itself.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's almost like Leeds are our ideal opponents because they play so openly and they let us just go through them, and they don't really sort of give us any sort of challenge in the middle of the park. So definitely we're going to get different sorts of challenges when we face the likes of Southampton and the other more defensive teams. So that will give us a big test to see if we can actually break down these teams, because that was our sort of Achilles heel last season, in terms of breaking down those teams that sort of make it difficult for us to get behind them. So that's why I think the McTominay and Fred partnership, that I don't think that would be ideal for those sort of games. I think we're going to need a midfield that's, going to be able to sort of put those through balls in and sort of have a bit more vision to break down those more defensive teams. So that's definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, it's good to get the win, the first game, good performance in midfield, but Leeds are a very open team, as we saw last season. So I think that's what 11 goals that we scored against them in 2 games at home. So it was an ideal first game to get started, really, because as I was saying, they just like to play and they create chances themselves.
So add to that quickly. I was just going to say, if you remember Leeds last season when we beat them 6-2, McTominay and Fred looked really, really good, and McTominay scored 2 goals. And he got forward and looked really, really good. And I think it's really hard to judge McTominay and Fred versus Leeds, because we actually, in that 6-2 game and in the 5-1 game, Leeds had more possession than us. And in the majority of games we play this season, apart from Man City, Leeds, and maybe Liverpool, you'd expect us to have more possession. And I think when on the ball, Donny and Matic are probably better in possession than McTominay and Fred. And I think McTominay and Fred works for Leeds, and they were effective against Leeds. We've seen that. But I think going into Southampton, just because McTominay and Fred were good versus Leeds, I could see them being the same old McFred versus Southampton when we've got a bit of possession, we need to break them down, and the passing isn't good as well. I think you can't judge McTominay and Fred versus Leeds because McTominay looked like prime skulls last time we played Leeds.
Sure.
Yeah, I was going to say similar. Like, I think Donny needs to be given a chance. Do you know what I mean? In hopefully against Southampton, but I'm not sure about Matic being with him because he's getting on a bit. But hopefully Donny will get a go, and then it's probably going to have to be Fred with him because I don't think McTominay can do the defensive bit. To be fair, but yeah, I'd like to see Donny have a different, come in and do something different. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the team's going to be like. Varane should be starting, and Sancho, because Dan James should be nowhere near the team. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think he needs to give Donny a go. He's brought him for 30 million. Didn't play him a lot last year. He's got to give Donny a go. And do you know what I mean? He showed against Everton that he can do it. So let's see what happens.
Definitely, guys. I just want to move it on to the man of the match and donkey of the match. I just want to get your take on that. Of course, my man in the match in that game, I'm going to give it to the person who got the 4 assists, because it's easy to give it to the guy who got the hat trick, but those goals have not come if that player wasn't playing. at all. Those 4 assists mean a lot. Yeah, without that, Bruno would have not scored his hat trick. So I'm gonna have to give that to Pogba as my man in the match during that game. My donkey of the match, you guys all know it, and I believe you guys are gonna agree with it, and you're probably gonna stick with it. It's gonna have to be DJ Daniel James. Terrible mixing on the night, you know. Can't give you a good night out in Soho at all if he's DJ on the decks. His mixing is terrible. His dribbling is terrible as well. Yeah, if to highlight, compare what his dribbling is, that's his mixing if he's a DJ. But yeah, Daniel James was terrible. I'm going to move up to you, Alex. Who was your man in the match, and who also was your donkey of the match?
Donkey of the match, Daniel James. I think I really need to explain that. Again, I would give man of the match to Paul Pogba just because getting 4 assists in a match has only been done by 7 players, whereas getting a hat trick is done a couple of times a season. And I think, he got 4 assists. He was a massive part. And the part, obviously, Greenwood did really well to score that second goal. And the finish from him was brilliant. If he did that pass to Dan James, it wouldn't have got him. But that pass from Pogba, the no look and to make that run, he did it to Greenwood, he did it to Bruno. For me, Pogba, 10 out of 10.
Definitely, man of the match. Pogba, you hear it, guys. Alice said man of the match. Pogba, donkey of the match, of course, Daniel James. Amok, what about you?
I have to agree with you guys. You can't say nothing. Having 4 assists in one match and get to equal his tally for last season, that's beautiful. Like, Pogba has to get player of the match. And for me, one reason why I'm giving Daniel James, you might not even think about this, but in the first 19 minutes, this few times I saw Daniel James on the ball he found himself in the offside position twice. And I was thinking, wait, the game just started. You offside twice already. What are you doing? And that was just terrible. So he has to get the donkey of the match.
You see that again. Daniel James, free donkey of the match. It must be hard to be you right now. I'm going to move up to Jerome. Let me know what your man of the match was and who was your donkey of the match as well.
Yeah, man of the match, as I agree with everyone, it's definitely Paul Pogba. Obviously, it was quite tight between Pogba and Bruno, but we know Bruno scores goals. Obviously, he was a top scorer last season. And with Paul Pogba, the assists that he made were they're not assists where it was just a pass and someone does a 25-yard screamer, top bins. This was that proper assist where it would almost have been harder to miss than to score. So It was proper, solid assists. So that's why I'm going to give it to Paul Pogba. Donkey of the match is obviously Daniel James. The positive about Daniel James is that he actually tries. You can see that he's a hard worker.
He grasps.
Yeah, he grasps, but he just doesn't have the required quality to be a Man United player. You can see clearly on the pitch that he's the weakest link, and it's not like he's the weakest link. He's the weakest link by a big mile.
Much.
So I just think that hopefully Sancho is fit for the next game, and then we can just put Dan James on the bench and just keep him for the League Cup and the FA Cup games. But for the Premier League and Champions League, he shouldn't be anywhere near that team.
But the funny thing is that Daniel James is one of Ollie's favourites, so you'll be seeing him quite a lot, and quite often.
After Monzi, I was gonna say something, but I'll let Monzi go. Got Sunday's Daniel James situation.
Monzi, so let us know who your man in the match was, and also who your donkey of the match was.
Yeah, man of the match got to be Pogba. I would have said Bruno, but I think Bruno's going to score loads of hat-tricks this year, so I'll give it to Pogba. Donkey of the match, I would have said Rashford, but he's not there. So I'll say Daniel James. Daniel James as well. Daniel James, what can you say? You just say Daniel James and everyone knows. Just awful, wasn't he? But yeah, I'll save my other donkeys for the match for Rashford later on in the season.
So you wanted to say something?
No, it's just something. It's just a little conspiracy, yeah. No one told me this. Just something I thought about myself the other day. Why does you just triggered the thoughts in my head when you say Ollie actually like Daniel James, and it's visual. We can all see it. But you know what it reminds me of? Sorry to say this. I hope Ollie don't get upset. Daniel James, no disrespect to you and your family. But someone's mom dating someone, and the guy has to like you because he's dating your mom. That's what I see. But I just don't know. Daniel James is just a small kid. You don't be surprised if you find that Ollie and Daniel James' mom know each other like that. Because why does he like Daniel James this much? Why did Daniel James have to play 73 minutes in that game.
Yeah. It's
Ollie
almost as if
forgot he was on.
recommended by Giggs. Was it Giggs that recommended Dan James?
Yep, Giggs
Yeah.
did recommend
Almost
that.
like because he's
Oh,
good mates
you
recommended.
know Giggs a bad boy now, innit? So, you know,
but it's probably Giggs.
to
It was probably
question
Giggs
people.
going out with blooming Daniel James's mum.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we all know Giggs a bad boy now, innit? He ain't scared to do things. So don't
Yeah,
be
but the thing
surprised.
is,
though.
you got to give it to Ollie. He was playing so bad, he probably forgot he was still on.
That's
I mean-
true.
And let me move it on straight up, man. Big up to Bruno Fernandes says his man of the match was Bruno. His donkey of the match was Wan-Bissaka. Now Kane says man of the match was Ricky's favorite player, Dan James. We all know Ricky loves Daniel James and he always bigs him up. Regardless, man, that Bruno Fernandes says Dan James is world class. Dan James is the GOAT, says no. And then
Bruno's trolling, you know.
Palace 1861.
He's
I know.
trolling.
It says LOL. Moving on to that, guys, I would just want to take a quick view on you guys with the Varane signing before we move on to the weekend wrap up, as we don't have that much time left. Guys, Rafael Varane was introduced to us. I know you guys must have put a smile on your face when you saw him walk out Old Trafford with the shirt, with the fans roaring, him taking a selfie. You must have thought, this feels good. This is nice. This is really on lunchtime as well. You know, after I just had lunch, I get this on top, my dessert. Beautiful, guys, man.
Yeah.
I want to ask you quickly, what did you guys think? First of all, anyone that wants to take the throne?
I was actually standing up clapping with the crowd. That's how. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Hey!" My son's coming in, going, "What are you doing?" I was like, "He's here." But yeah, it was whoever thought of that. I know, like it was all like, you know, it was dragging on a bit and on. But whoever thought of that PR must just, you know what I mean? What a touch. He only needed a couple of chairs and a desk. Do you know what I mean? That'd have been even better. But and I see the video come out today that he'd filmed, but that was pants compared to that. Do you know what I mean? That was much better. I thought, wow. Do you know what I mean? Like whoever thought of that got the crowd going. I see all the crowd going. That just got them right hyped. I don't think if we'd not played anyone, I don't think the crowd were like it was like an away game. You know, if you've been to an away game, United away game, they're just on it all the time, and that was just like I thought, wow, this is. I thought I was watching the wrong channel, but no, I weren't. I was watching United. Do you know what I mean? But it was it made my hairs on my back go up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was brilliant that finally we have got him, and now hopefully, as I keep saying, we just don't want to put too much pressure on him because he ain't won nothing. He might come in and he might be a bit dodgy. You never know. I don't think he will, but and also the bit with Varane and Rio Ferdinand, I thought that was good as well when he shook his hand and stuff.
And I don't think Rio was aware that he actually idolizes him. No one actually made him aware.
No, I don't think he knew. And he actually walked up to Rio. Before he walked up to Rio, the commentator said this. I think he's coming to you, Rio. He's coming to you. And Rio was just speechless. Didn't even know what to say. Just tapped him and said, win, win, win. Something like that. I liked it, though. I like that still.
The best bit about that was that when Joe Cole said, at least he's got a better suit on than you had, Rio.
I remember that. So I remember that. That was joke.
Does anyone have anything to add to Sanchez? Sorry, Sanchez.
Monzi, Sanchez.
Varane, the Varane announcement. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Monzi said, I think I think Varane coming onto the pitch, it just gave the whole crowd a boost. It just gave everyone a boost. I'm not gonna lie, I had a smile on my face when I saw him coming on. It's just the excitement of having like a proven world-class defender coming into Man United, and obviously with the problems that we had with the Maguire and Lindelof partnership, it just makes you think we've actually got some good defenders now. So we've actually got strength and depth in defence. So it definitely gave everyone a big boost before the game, and I think it's actually gonna make our defence actually better now because now there's increased competition. We've got the likes of Lindelof doing these world-class passes and assisting. So I think times is looking. Obviously, I don't want to get too excited, but I think it's looking promising now that we've got for running. That we've got to see 4 competitions that we can rotate around. We don't have to play like around every single game. You can sort of rotate around the main defenders. I think you've got so it'll be Lindelof, Maguire, Bailly if he keeps fit.
Phil Jones.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
god. Why you
I've
saying
heard
Phil
them-
Jones? I actually forgot about Phil Jones. I
I've-
did
I've
forget
heard
about Phil
them-
Jones.
I've heard the next game they're unveiling Phil Jones at the next home game, signing a new 5-year contract. That's what I've heard.
Monzi, I hope this is a little comic, but if that's true, I think I'll have to come to Manchester and do something myself.
As you know, guys, you did read news that came out yesterday that Phil Jones refused to give his number 4 shirt, even though he hasn't really played for Manchester United for the last 3 years. I know he did play last season or something like that, but he hasn't really played. He should have really given up that shirt. In fact, I would have took it off him myself. I employ you. As an owner, I would have said, big man, give me that shirt number right now. There's no options in this situation. You're going to cry as much as you like. We're taking that number 4 shirt off of you. We're going to give it to someone that's going to be here. You've been out here for 3 years playing Fortnite and making love to the physio bench. I had enough of this. Guys, let's move it on. Of course, Premier League wrap up. Of course, you know a lot of things happen. Big up now, Kane that says, did you guys see Brentford manager going up to the wee lads? I forgot to ask this on Alice's channel last night. My mind went blank and just remembered it's now classic in the class at Thomas Frank to respect that. Probably because your mind went blank, it's because you guys out here just staring at Alice all the time and complimenting her as I was on the channel. You get me? Make sure you subscribe to Alice Talk Football, as always, guys, on YouTube. But let's move to Premier League roundup. So speaking about Arsenal, guys, you know, the weekend was beautiful. Started off on Friday night, you know, Arsenal versus Brentford. Arsenal being stung by the beast. You know, getting a beat stung by Brentford, 2-0.
Spice.
You know, which was beautiful. Yes.
Can I say something? I can see the grill in your face. It's a new season. It's like you got raising to troll again. I can see that
It's a new
space.
season, and you know what's coming up.
I know what's coming. I'm feeling it.
Game of the week. You know it's time to troll. But yes, Arsenal getting stung by the bees by Brentford. You know, they're new to the Premier League. You had you got Chelsea as well, who spanked Crystal Palace 3-0, and Liverpool trashing Norwich 3-0, and of course Spurs beating City 1-0 without a Harry Kane. Let's go straight into it, guys. Let me talk about the first game, which is my favorite London team, Arsenal, losing 2-0 against Brentford. You know, I have to say it was quite hard for me to watch the match because at the same time I was doing my own stream, but I was loving every second. And guys, who's surprised that Arsenal lost their first game of the season? Tell me about it. Tell me, guys.
I was surprised though. I was surprised, not against Brentford. Obviously, that's a London derby, you know, and it's just team next door to you, not too far from you. So, to see a newly promoted team play the way they played against Arsenal, they showed more intent, more passion. They wanted to win more, and it's just shocking to see Arsenal play like that. As much as I know this team is going through whatever they're going through, but just to see them play the way they played, it's quite shocking for me. And I hope we don't get to see that performance by Arsenal again. And I remember yesterday, my fiancée must have said to me something cool in the top clubs, and she didn't mention Arsenal. And I asked her why didn't you mention Arsenal, and she's like, because she just heard it on the TV. Arsenal, they didn't call Arsenal. I was like, holy God. Or like, a female who don't even watch football knows that Arsenal dropped that from the top 6. It's just hard. I don't want to see that.
I do.
Alice, what did you think? Did you happen to catch the match, Alice?
I was out at a party, so I didn't watch the match. I had no idea what's going on, and I get in at like 5:30 a.m. and I check my Twitter at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, wait, Arsenal lost, and I watched the highlights straight afterwards. I was just like, lol, banner FC. I didn't watch the match or anything, but it's Arsenal. Like, I love to banter them, and from the highlights and from what everyone said, they were pretty shit.
No, they were absolutely shit, man. They did have the possession of the ball, but they did not threat. They did not threat Brentford's goal. You know, Jerome, I see you smiling there.
Yeah,
I feel like you have something to say about this game.
Yeah, it's funny because I was switching over between Arsenal and Brentford and Love Island. I was getting notifications. I'm like, Arsenal and losers. Arsenal and losing, surely not. This is Brentford. No disrespect to Brentford, but they're new to the Premier League. I can't remember the last time they were in the top division. So I thought this should be a
74 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ages. So I thought this would have been a nice, comfortable game for Arsenal to start off. And when I heard that they were losing, I thought, let me switch over and find out what's going on. Every time I switched over, Arsenal had the ball, but they weren't doing anything with it. And I was just thinking, this is getting embarrassing now. It's like it almost reminded me of like how United were last season. We just had the ball against these low block teams, but we weren't doing nothing with it. And it just petered out, and we just didn't know we were going to score. But that happened with Arsenal, but obviously they conceded because they just got a shit defence. Even with their new signing, Ben White, it was almost embarrassing, really. Obviously Arsenal, they used to be considered a big rival to United, but now I almost feel sorry for them, to be honest. Sometimes I'm laughing at things. Yeah, I'd rather them like be competing with us and we can have like proper good banter. But now it's just like they're not even on United's level anymore. It's just they're not even considered like a top six anymore.
True.
Yeah, so it's like Arsenal lost, but it's like no one really cares. We're trying to look at what Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool are doing now. We're Arsenal not even like in our radar anymore.
I just want to say for the record, Ben White is shit. I just have to say this because I've had enough of this comparison of trying to compare world-class elite centre back
World Cup winner.
A World Cup winner to someone like Marcus Rashford chopped inside out like last season and made him sit on his ass 3 or 4 times before he scored a goal.
I know.
Checked him up. Centre back. Ben White is shit. 50 million. He's shit. He got chopped up on Friday as well against one of the Brentford players. He showed him what I want. Guys, let me move up to, of course, our other ops. Of course, we don't want to dwell on Arsenal too much. I just want to just read up on Now Kane what he said. I watched Ty on AFTV and Leeds Judge TV. They went on a full-blown rant on Arsenal has been in crisis since I believe back in 2006. I can see them fighting to stay up, and if they don't make signing, Diego C. Palace also says that last time Arsenal was relegated was 1930 Woolwich Arsenal. In that season, they lost their first opening game. Watch this space. Hopefully it does. Ooh. Queen says Arsenal will still rise again for sure. And Bruno Fernandes said Arsenal are Conference League quality. You're damn right they were UEFA Conference League quality team, but they didn't qualify for that, unfortunately, because they're not good enough. Moving on to our ops, of course, we saw Norwich losing to Liverpool 3-0. And of course, Chelsea spanking Crystal Palace 3-0 with a brilliant goal by Daniel. I mean, what's not Daniel Chabot? I forgot his name. Nathaniel Chalobah's little brother, who scored his first goal, and he got into tears and very emotional, which I kind of felt it.
His brother
soft towards that switch. Nathaniel Chalobah. That's his little brother. So his little brother was able to start at Chelsea, where the older brother, unfortunately, wasn't able to do that. And it happens. You saw Rafael and Fabio, same situation. Phil Jones and Gary Neville was the same situation. Well, Phil Jones did play, but he was like a side man. He was not he wasn't like I said before, he wasn't the Nando's rice to the peri-peri chicken. He was the salad to the Nando's rice and the peri-peri. So he's the side to the side. So that's sad. That's a sad thing in life. When you're side to the side, you ain't fuck. Oh, cool. Guys, what did you guys think of the matches for Chelsea and Norwich, and for Liverpool and also City losing 1-0 to Spurs? Does it mean that City will struggle to win the league? What does this mean?
No. Oh, I think City just found himself unlucky yesterday. Like I know I've seen bad people saying City need a striker, they need a striker. I don't think they need a striker. Torres is good enough. It's just like Tottenham, they play with a different philosophy, the new manager that knows what he's doing. And I did mention that I actually like this guy for the past few seasons. Nuno's actually good. It's one of my favorite. So watch the way Tottenham played yesterday. I knew that he was going to find it difficult to play Tottenham. Yeah. And Tottenham didn't really do anything special. City had the ball 24/7 throughout the 90 minutes. But Tottenham, how they play, that defensive mindset that Nuno got, worked out really good. And it was hard for City to break that defense. I think City is still going to win more. It's just a little bump. City is too strong.
Absolutely. And what about you, Alice? What did you think of the other games?
Yeah, no, I just agree with that. I only really watched the City and the United games at the weekend. So I was quite busy, but I would definitely say like the Man City game, they came out really, really quick. But what they did is what United did against City is when, you know, they had Mendy and Ake at the back. And let's be honest, Mendy and Ake are shy. They're not Man City level players. And Spurs just exploit that on the counter attack. It's like, because you know what? Nuno beat City quite a few times with Wolves, and Oli beat City. And Pep's always had problems against Nuno, Tuchel, and United. And what in all those 3 games, it's just pace and counter attack. Because City leaves space in behind, and Spurs took advantage of that. You know, I think if City left that much space in behind to Sancho, Rashford, and Pogba, we could have scored 3-4 against them. I don't think City were good, to be fair. I think City had more chances than that ball with the ball, but I think defensively City was shocking. But Spurs be Spurs. I guarantee they'll lose to someone like Norwich in a couple of weeks' time. You know what they're like.
No, absolutely right. Let's move on to my favorite part of the show, which is Game of the Week, where you announce your Game of the Week and why. Let me start it straight up because my favorite London team, Blood Clot Arsenal, is my Game of the Week. And I ain't trolled on Arsenal for a very long time because why? Part-time, I am a full-time Manchester United fan, but sometimes I'm an Arsenal fan, you know. We was fucking shit, guys, you know, against Brentford. Getting stung by bees is not funny, you know. I had to go to the hospital, the GP, to just check on my skin to see if I've got any marks left. After seeing Arsenal get peppered like that, especially in West London. First game of the season, Arteta out, as always. I've always been saying it. Arteta out. I'm tired. No Lacazette. No Aubameyang. What's going to happen to Arsenal this season? We're finished out here, you know. We're done. We've been done like 2... Guys, I've never been in a situation where you forgot to buy toothpaste and the very next day you wake up and you try to get every single ounce of the toothpaste that's inside the toothpaste that's finished. That's Arsenal. We are done out here.
Oh my God, this kid.
We've been finished for days. You know, before the bid grew, we was done. That was my game of the week. Arsenal getting spanked by Brentford 2-0. Alice, what was your game of the week?
I'd have to go with United. I didn't watch the Arsenal game, but I think that was just top draw banter to see them lose to a new right team. But I definitely have to go with United Leeds because to see Bruno and Pogba just shut their haters down, you know, to beat Leeds. I just don't think you could have done better.
Yeah. And what about you? What was your game of the week?
My game of the week is the West Ham versus was a cool Newcastle. It was a very good match to watch, intense, like football. Watch out for West Ham though. You know, they finished almost the top 4 last season. This season, I think they started the season good. For them to go down, come back the way they did yesterday was too good. And I just have to say this. That kid from Newcastle, what's his name? The French something.
Saint-Maximin.
I want him. Is the 20 times better version of James? I'm just saying. Before you got James in your team, go get that guy. Yes, he just proved me right again. Even though they lost, but it was a very good match, intensive match, very good.
And Jerome, what about you? What was your game of the week?
Yeah, it definitely has to be United and Leeds because obviously we won 5-1, a nice big margin, good healthy start to the league, top of the league already. Hopefully dare to stay. Yeah. I couldn't expect any more than that really. 5-1. It was a pleasant surprise, and yeah, I can't look past that really because I didn't even expect it to be a big, high-scoring game like that, especially for the first game of the season. So yeah, it's a good feeling to go into the next game.
And Muzi, last but not least, what was your game of the week?
Yeah, it's got to be United versus Leeds. Best game. It's the only one I really watched. I didn't watch the others, but yeah, it's got to be United trouncing Leeds. Yeah. Also, I wouldn't have if I'd have knew you was half Arsenal fan. I wouldn't have come on here.
Oh, you get me. You gotta have a second team in it. Like me,
Yeah,
I like
man.
seeing my shit team at Arsenal after Manchester United. You know, because Arsenal with Arsenal.
Monty, you have
I don't
to though.
expect anything. I don't expect a trophy. I'm like those fans. I'm like a Brighton fan that comes to the Premier League and expects you just to survive. when I support Arsenal, it's just to survive in the
It's
league.
just to troll.
You
Not
get me?
support,
Just to
it's
use
troll.
it. Yeah. But guys, as you guys are watching in the cup, make sure you let us know who was your game of the week. If you're watching on playback as well, let us know what you thought of the Manchester United game as well, and Leeds, any other games. Moving on to the preview of Southampton versus Manchester United. As you know, guys, Manchester United will play their second game, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to it, because I can't wait. After seeing that game against Leeds, I can't wait until Sunday. But it has to be on a Sunday. Why? Sunday, 2 p.m., guys. Get together with your family on a family day. I'm sorry, Monzi, the kids will be in your ears on a Sunday saying, Daddy this, Daddy that. Shut up, I'm trying to watch football. That's what's going to happen to you on Sunday, as Sunday is a family day. But yes, Manchester United versus Southampton away at a stadium that we're familiar at winning at as well. It's technically our second round as well. So yeah, I'm gonna pass on to you, Alice, because honestly, my opinion on this match is I'm on the high, I'm on the buzz. You know, definitely feel like Manchester United will go there and spank Southampton. Lindelof, thank you for the long range pass, but Varane will take over from here. Thank you for trying. We don't need you no more. And Daniel James, Sancho will take your place, and then we're gonna enjoy the football against Southampton, and we should technically win and trash them. I'm hoping that will happen, but we have had some difficult games against Southampton. But then again, we did thrash them 9-0. But yeah, I'm hoping that we'll beat them at least 3 or 4 goals. Alice, what's your take? What do you think Manchester United will do against Southampton?
I think we'll win. I actually think Southampton could be fighting to stay up this season. I know they've had a couple of mid-table finishes, but they lost Ings. I think they've lost a few players. They didn't look good towards the end of the season. I don't think they're a very good squad. I think there's James Ward-Prowse, and then there's, I think, Southampton are one of the weaker teams this season. I think we should beat them. I think the only way we don't beat them is if we play this McFred football and we have a lot of possession and we can't break them down, where we might struggle. But I think for me, take Dan James out, put Sancho in, take Lindelof out, put Varane in, put Donny in that midfield, take one of Fred and McTominay out, or take them both out, put Donny in that midfield, and I don't think we'll have any problems. I think, we're going to have a lot of possession. I think we've got to break them down. But we beat them 9-0. They're not the greatest team out there. I think they're weaker than they were last season. So, yeah, I think we'll win.
And what about you, Amok? What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with you guys. Definitely win. I'm on the buzz. The team started good. And the new signings that we've got, we should do better. And like Alice just mentioned, they lost a few of the good players. They're not really on the same level they were last season. So Manchester need to capitalize on every single opportunity we get this season, because we need to. If we want to compete for the title, we need to take the opportunities that we did not take last season. And Oli, I pray to God that his team management and man management this season is good, because that's one thing that we failed out on last season. That's why we finished 12 points behind Man City. We're getting closer with the point difference between the person that finishes on the top. So for me, that's a good thing. But Oli needs to improve on himself as a manager, not just the players themselves. Him as a manager dealing with these players, because it's a new, different team. That approach towards Southampton this week on a Sunday should be different, and we don't want to see McTominay or Fred either. We want to see like a mixture of different players. The season just started. Give these players chances. Let's see what happens.
I really want to see this 4-3-3, and I want to see Van der Beek come in to keep the ball and keep possession. I feel like next week is a game for him, because Southampton are good with possession on the ball as well. They like to do things. Jerome, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. As long as Oli makes the required changes, then I can't see anything other than a United win, really, because Southampton have obviously got weaker. We've strengthened, so logic tells you that we should win, and quite comfortably, because I can't see where the goals are coming from Southampton's team. They sold Ings, didn't they? To Aston Villa. So I don't know who their main goal scorer is now. So yeah, I think they're just going to try and see out this season and survive, really. Whereas we're obviously trying to go for the league. So I think we should just be going for it, really. Don't go there with any fear. Go there as the dominant team and just try and win like 3 or 4-0. I think that's what we need to. We need to make a statement at the start of the season, especially as City lost yesterday. I think with the beginning of the fixture list, we need to just see if we can just win all of them, really, because I think when it gets to October, November time, it's going to get tough. So we just need to just go there, all guns blazing, and just rip into them, really. I can't see why they shouldn't.
And what about you, Munzi? What about you?
Yeah, Southampton, as you said, Southampton have lost a couple of players. I know they got Adam Armstrong from Blackburn. He scored at the weekend, but yeah, they didn't look that great against Everton. To be fair, we should really batter them, but I'll take a 1-0. Anything 1-0, 2-0. We don't keep that clean sheet. Do you know what I mean? Because last year we won. We come back from 2-0 down, and that was horrible. Do you know what I mean? 3-2, we beat them at their place. I know we spanked them at ours, but hopefully, yeah, we'll just, clean sheet and go and get a couple of goals. But yeah, as people have said, we've got to try and make a statement while City have lost that game. I know it's only the second game of the season, but yeah, we've got to try and make a statement. We just got to start not slipping up against these so-called crap teams. That's where we can be more consistent than what we have been. Because, well, apart from last year, the year before, we didn't really. The year before, we was like beating City. We was having, beating Arsenal. Last year, we beat City, but that was it. We didn't beat Liverpool. We didn't beat Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't
Arsenal.
beat Tottenham.
We did beat Tottenham.
Yeah, that's the last game.
Yeah, we had, but yeah, we wasn't beating the teams above, in the top half, and then we were struggling against the bottom half as well. But we just need a weak consistency. But as Amor said, his in-game management's got to change. He's got to change it. He can't have McFred in and James. He's got to change it. Whether he does or not, I don't know. But I think Varane comes in, Sancho comes in, Donny comes in, and then see where we go from there. But he's got. If he keeps the same team, then God help us. But yeah, I think he'll change it. But I still think we'll win. But even if we win by 1 goal, it's a win. Do you know what I mean? Just get them points on the board.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. And of course, that is it, guys. We have come to the end of the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. As always, remember to subscribe and smash that like. Make sure this is the part where I plug in everyone else and then they can tell you where you can find them. Alice, where can the people find you?
You can find me if you type Alice Talks Football into YouTube or into TikTok. Go check them out.
And Amok, where can the people find you?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram, prayflock_16. And they can always find me on this channel every Monday. You know what time it is.
And Munzi, what about you? Where can the people find you?
Well, where can't you find me at the moment? You can find me here on a Monday. I'm on the Man United agenda sometimes. Also got my debut show that I'm hosting, Munzi Talks, on Wednesday on Devils United, which Spice will be on. Catch me at Twitter, finally Munzi, Instagram, Munzi6, and yeah, that's about it.
And Jerome, where can the people also find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram under username jwilliams_1.
And of course, guys, let me just tell you right now, you can find me on this channel every Monday at 8 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m. And of course, you can find me on other various channels. You'll probably find me on Alice Talks Football once in a while, Also, of course, My United Agenda. And of course, Wednesday's coming up. Of course, we've got me, Munzi, doing the thing, As always, remember to subscribe, smash that like button, remember to share and follow the socials. Of course, you guys already know. Just go to the link stream to follow the socials. As always, remember to keep it united and also remember to keep it red united. And we'll see you next time. Peace.